Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a live chat show with Ashani Yapa and myself, Mickey Chhabra. Today, we are going to be talking about the good news that we've all heard yesterday, that international borders for Australia are going to be opening very soon, and we are really excited to share this news with you, isn't that, Ashani?
That is right. So it is just only a couple of months away, especially in Queensland. I think from 1st of January, international students will be allowed into the country.
Yes, absolutely. So if you are planning to study in Australia, so here's your chance. So today we will be discussing about a lot of things. Who can apply, where you can apply for study in Australia, what courses you can do, what are the costs involved with a student visa, what are the costs involved with your tuition fees, how much money would you need to start a course in Australia, and how much money would you need to show for your student visa, express student visa for Australia, if you want to come and study here in 2022.
Pretty much everything you need to know to get your student visa granted, including the visa process, we will go through step by step. So if you have any questions while we are talking or after we talk, please get in touch with us and we can help you with your all your questions.
Absolutely. Look, with Sirus Migration, we've got offices in Australia, Brisbane and Melbourne, and we've got our offshore offices in Sri Lanka, India and Italy. So if you are in any of those countries, you're more than welcome to get in touch with one of our domestic offices there. It's all listed on our website, www.sirus.com.au. Today we first of all will discuss about the agreements, partnership that Sirus holds with different universities in Queensland. So we're talking about Queensland because Queensland borders are going to be opening 1st of January. So we got a huge list for, especially for Sri Lankan clients, Ashani. So there was some of our favorites we're going to talk about, which is going to be relevant for you guys, because choosing a good university is very important when you're applying for your student visa. So the immigration does look at it in a healthy way. If you're going to a good university and you have been admitted, you've been offered a seat to study a degree in a university in Australia, so that's 90% of your task is finished there.
That's right. And we also picked universities in the top range, mid-range as well when it comes to prices, because not everybody is in the same situation to afford the course fees, whereas some person would want the top quality and they don't really worry about the course fees. So we have picked a selection of universities to suit everyone's needs, and we will go through the list and explain the courses and the costs involved, as well as the eligibility criteria, what you need to have to in order to get your offer letter and the visa as well. Before we go there, I think we should little bit tell them what's going to happen in January. Right? So what Anastasia has, or the Queensland Premier has said, from 1st of January, international students, the specific numbers are not 100% confirmed, but they are talking about 250 students a fortnight who has already been granted a visa and has been studying in Australia will first let into the country. They will be quarantining in Toowoomba, which is about 150 kilometers away from Brisbane city. The cost of the program is not confirmed yet for you to quarantine, but some of the universities, for example, like USQ, I think will bear the cost of your quarantine as well. So as you can see, from 1st of January, if you have already had an offer letter and enrolled, especially I think health industries will be number one, and then engineering, and then other industries will come into place. So this is the right time, if you haven't done so already, to get your offer letter from one of these universities for February intake next year 2022 or July intake next year 2022.
Some of the universities are also offering intakes for January and March, so we'll discuss that. Now we'll start with our top universities that we have an agreement with. So we can help you get admission into Queensland University of Technology, which is based in Brisbane city. they've got a few campuses outside of Brisbane City as well. So Queensland University of Technology offers courses starting from foundation to diploma and bachelor's and master's and PhD as well. It's a very reputed university, and it's on an assessment level 1 university in Australia. So you are studying at a top ranked university, and if you can get into a university like QUT or Griffith or Southern Cross University, half your job is already done for your visa process, because the immigration department looks at it. Okay, the university has done all its checks to make sure the student is genuine, and so it leaves them only a few things to take care of, like your health check, your medicals, and your financials, and your genuine temporary entrant that you write for yourself when you're applying for a student visa. And definitely we can help you with, and we can guide you all the way throughout the student visa process. So QUT, Griffith University, which is based in Brisbane and on the Gold Coast. It's got a regional campus on the Gold Coast. And so what are the benefits of studying in a regional campus in Australia? Ashani will talk about this as well. So Ashani, what are the benefits? What do you want to guide your students out there, that why they should study in a regional university?
So for some of the students, after they finish their study, they plan to stay in Australia a little bit longer. Some of them are planning to stay in Australia permanently by going through skill migration and other pathways. So studying in regional comes into play in this scenario, because if you study in a regional university and if you live in regional area, number one, you can get the post-study work visa, or the visa that you get for studying in Australia for a longer duration of time. This is really critical if you're planning to stay in Australia permanently, because this subclass 485 or your graduate visa is the time given to you to prepare for your permanent residency. So getting extra 1 year or getting extra 2 years by studying in regional, it's like gold for you. So if you want to so if that is your goal, especially if you're a bit of a mature age student, or if you think you're going to lose points from other sides, it's really critical that you study in a regional campus. Plus, this will also give you eligibility for getting extra 5 points when you do the point calculation for your permanent residency. So 2 major benefits that students will get out of studying in regional. Number 1 is extra duration on your postgraduate visa. Number 2, extra 5 points when you do your point calculation. So it's really critical. Talk to a migration agent, talk to your education agent about selecting a university, and if they believe it's important for you to select a university in a regional area,
then you must go for it. I'll give you an example. For example, if you look at Griffith University on the Gold Coast. Now, Gold Coast is a metro regional, so which means you will get 3 years of 485 visa, not 2. So you get an extra 1 year. And if you go for USQ, University of Southern Queensland, which is in Toowoomba, which is about an hour and a half drive out of the Brisbane metro, so you will get 4 years of 485 postgraduate visa. So that's a benefit of 2 years, but the point system doesn't change. They still get the same 5 points. They still get
the 5 points.
Yeah. So these are the benefits. Now, as we were discussing about USQ, the University of Southern Queensland, which is located in Brisbane, as well as Toowoomba, they have got a campus outside of Brisbane as well. So this university is very popular for its health courses, nursing courses, and community services courses, and also most of the engineering science courses. So they've got a vast faculty of engineering. So if you're looking for a bachelor's or a master's in engineering, you could never go wrong if you choose University of Southern Queensland. And University of Southern Queensland is also offering to international students 25% scholarship due to COVID, plus 6 months of free accommodation on campus if you are coming from an international destination, not in Australia. So as soon as you come to Australia, you know where to go, you know where to live, and you're gonna save money on your first tuition fees, right? So, guys, if you still have any questions, please feel free to add your comments in the box below, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you might have. Now, you could also be studying online. Say, for example, you're not very confident that you would be able to travel to Australia in January or February, and you think that, oh, I'm going to miss out on the opportunity of Australian study period, which is 92 weeks you must study in Australia in order to apply for a 485 visa, or are you gonna get those 5 points for studying in regional? So Ashani is gonna enlighten us on those 2 points, so you have a peace of mind if you are studying online for a couple of months before you come here. That could be an option.
That's right. So what international students who are offshore can do, they can get enrolled, get their offer letters and confirmation of enrollment done. They can get their student visa approved. But if they cannot get into a flight somehow, if they do not categorize into the people who are allowed into the country, they can still start studying online, and you will still get those extra 5 points that I talked to you about studying in a regional area. And also to get into your postgraduate visa or the subclass 485, there is a requirement that you have to study for 92 weeks. So the time that you spend offshore in your home country studying online will still count towards these 92 weeks. So you are not losing anything by studying or starting your studies offshore. You're only adding value to your future by starting early, because once the borders open and once they let international students come in, you will definitely be given priority if you're already studying. So it's just studying offshore is just adding value to your future.
So don't be demotivated, guys. Start studying online if you think you can even take one subject online while you are offshore. It will ease your burden of studies when you come here. A lot of students, as soon as they come to Australia, it's a big shock for them.
That is right, yes. Especially now, things have changed a lot.
Absolutely.
You've been stuck offshore for...
Yeah, when you come here, straight away, you're given a load of 4 units in your first semester, or 3 units in your first semester, and it's a new environment, it's a new place. You're still adjusting, you're looking for a job, and you're going to school, college, university, and it's just too much, gets too much sometimes. So ease your burden while you're sitting at home. Finish a couple of subjects. So when you come here, you only got to study maybe a couple of subjects for your first semester, and then you can increase your load in the next semester.
That's right. And I would also, in this note, like to speak to the students who have finished their O-levels. So if they're in Sri Lanka, our Sri Lankan education system has ordinary level, which is year 11 examinations, and then you study for 2 years, and then you have A-levels. Is it the same with India?
Yes, it's year 12.
Year 12.
Yeah.
So if you have done your O-levels, you don't have to wait for your A-levels. I know in Sri Lanka, the schools were not operating for a couple of years now. So you have wasted that time not getting ready for your A-levels. You don't have to do that anymore, because there are foundation courses, especially in QEAC and some other universities as well. You can come and finish a foundation course which is equivalent to your year 12, which will give you direct entry into a diploma or the bachelor's degree of your choice. And the other benefit of that is, let's say you want to study science. So you can choose a foundation in science. If you want to do engineering, you can choose a foundation in engineering. So you are already getting ready for your bachelor's and studying some of the subjects.
Yes.
So without wasting your time for 2 years trying to sit for A-levels, you can even come to Australia, sometimes even without sitting for IELTS, the English examination. If the university allows you to do so, you can come and start a foundation, let's say next year, February or July, and finish by end of next year. So you will be ready for your bachelor's degree in 2023, which is a great saving of time.
Time, absolutely.
From what I believe.
Time is money, as we all say. So you're gonna save a lot of time if you're going for foundation course if you haven't finished your A-levels or year 12. Other options, as Ashani said, there could be options if you have not done your IELTS. You could apply for an English course leading to a foundation. But that's not going to be the case for the most of the students because of the restrictions of the visa. So if you are in kind of a situation where you do not have IELTS and you wish to study a foundation course, we could possibly add English as your first course and then foundation and then your bachelor's. It's not preferred, but we can apply for it. So if you think you have the capacity to sit an IELTS or PTE test, I think that will be the
definitely
best
do it.
preference,
Yes, that's right.
If you've already done your English test, IELTS or PTE, and you think your score is a little bit lower than what it should be, then definitely get in touch with us. We can definitely help you over there. Now, the next university that we're going to be discussing about, there's lots of universities, guys. So depending on your current scenario and what you wish to study, what do you think a future pathway you wish to take,
and especially your budget as well, because
budgets,
we've got universities for different budgets as well.
Starting from diploma courses, first course fee starting from $1,000 as a deposit to apply for your visa, as low as $1,000. That's the best we can do. We're not talking about private colleges or RTOs here. We're only talking about TAFE, government Queensland colleges, or universities. So any university starting from as low as $5,000, you can get a confirmation of enrollment to apply for your visa, and $1,000 for a diploma if you're looking for a diploma course at TAFE Queensland. And there's multiple choices. Ashani, I also do get a lot of questions from students asking which is the best course for me for a PR pathway. So could you enlighten us a few courses that you think could lead to a permanent residency pathway for students who have just finished year 12? They don't know what to choose,
right?
Where to go, which step to take. So are there any courses that they can study for 2 years or 3 years and which could lead to a permanent residency pathway in Australia, looking at the current scenario of the pandemic and the critical list that you've been seeing in the recent past?
Looking at the current scenario, I will give you the technical answer to this question.
Yes.
But normally when I speak to a student, I always ask them what they like to study. I don't like to force anything upon them just for the sake of permanent residency, because you're spending a lot of money. Sometimes it's your parents' money and you're spending at least 2 to 3 years of your life. So do something that you like. That's my first advice. And my second advice would be all the courses related to health, and I would also like to suggest community services. So when I say health, I mean especially nursing, because there is a big demand for nurses. And get into nursing, normally you need a higher level of English, but we do have options for people who don't have that higher level of English. They can start with a diploma of health and then move on to study nursing. So the courses in health and nursing, and also community services, and also in building and construction. So it always doesn't have to be a master's or bachelor's. If you're eligible, if you believe that you can get the visa, it could be a diploma course as well.
Associate degrees is an option in civil.
That's right,
TAFE,
civil engineering, associate degree of civil engineering. So it's not a bachelor's that you're starting off with. It is a lesser burden, academic burden, and also a financial burden, but then you can move on to something like a bachelor's degree. And also I would like to recommend engineering courses, because as you probably already know, Australia is planning to build big and
2032 Olympics.
That's right, Olympics, and they have bigger plans as well.
Yes.
So we need a lot of engineers, we need a lot of builders, we need a lot of IT people as well. So information technology. These are the main industries that I can recommend. Cybersecurity, but then again, look at your background, look what you like to see, talk to someone like Mickey or myself personally about what you want to achieve. Then we can guide you in the right path.
Absolutely.
As well.
Thank you very much, Ashani. Now, the cost involved with the student visa and the funds required to be shown to the immigration department, we're going to discuss about that. What are the costs involved? You got to pay your tuition fees, as I said earlier, so a deposit tuition fees before you can get your COE. So if you're applying for a diploma course, you can get away with as low as $1,000. If you're applying for a bachelor's or a master's course, a minimum deposit you're looking at is $5,000 to $7,000 with any of the universities to get confirmation of enrollment. And after that, you have to have $628 Australian dollars to apply for the student visa as an immigration fees.
Yeah, that's the visa application
Visa
fee that
application
everybody
fee.
has to pay when
Yeah.
you're at the time of lodging your student visa.
And you must also buy overseas health cover for the entire duration of the course that you're applying for. So you can't buy overseas health cover for a month or 2 months or 3 months. So let's say, for example, you applying for a visa for 2 years, so you must buy overseas health cover for 26 months, not 24 months, so 2 months more than what actually your course end date is. So on an average, for a single person applying for a 2-year course, you're looking at approximately $1,000 to $1,100 for the entire duration of your course to pay for your overseas health cover. We can assist you, help you with this overseas health cover. If you want to go and shop it yourself, you can do it. There's no obligations, but we can definitely get you a better price than what you would be going for directly with the companies. Other than that, there are no significant cost involved. Only a medical examination need to be done in your home country when you applying for your student visa, which is a minimum cost. And English, PTE, IELTS, score of 6 if you're applying for a bachelor's or master's. If you're applying for specific courses which has got a higher requirements, for example nursing or social work, you might be requiring a PTE or IELTS of 7 in each. Or say, for example, you want to go for masters in teaching, then it will be 8,877 in your IELTS academic.
Yeah.
Funds requirement, it works in a way that we can't give you a calculation of your funds required if you're offshore, but we can give you an estimate. You can do it yourself. Isn't that correct?
That's right.
So what you need to show money to apply for a student visa is 1 year of tuition fees, 1 year of living cost, and a return airfare for every single person. If you got a dependent coming with you, then it will be added on as, for example, 8,700 for your wife or your husband and 3,600 for every child.
Let's do a sample as well, Mickey.
Yeah.
So let's say someone wants to study associate degree of civil engineering from TAFE.
Okay, so that's about $12,000 a year.
So yeah, so $12,000 plus the living cost right now is $21,000.
Yeah.
Plus the airfare.
$2,000.
And then do they need to show the health insurance?
They have to pay.
They have to
upfront.
already pay, and they because of that they don't need to show.
They don't need to
so
show.
it is 21,000, 12,000 plus your airfares.
$2,000 each person, yes.
Yeah, so that is how much money you need to show in a bank account. If you show it in a bank account, it's for 3 months.
Approximately, yes. If you are in Sri Lanka, it could be 2 months as well. But if you're coming from India, it has to be minimum 3 months old. It could be in terms of a fixed deposit, bank statements, or an income statement as well. As a matter of fact, if your family has got an earning of more than $65,000 a year, then we could use that earning as a means of funds available as well.
That's right.
So
and it could even be an education loan.
It can be an education loan. So if you can get a loan from the bank, we can show a loan approval letter as means of funds available for your study. It could be funds sitting in your relatives' accounts as well. For example, your auntie, your uncle could show funds, and you can do an affidavit of support saying that they are more than willing to sponsor your studies in Australia, and they will pay for your studies, and you can get an affidavit from them.
Yeah, that's right.
That works as well. We've had great success in getting student visas from offshore, and we have been doing this for a while, and we know what we are doing. So if you contact us and give us your scenario, we'd be more than happy to help you and do a full assessment of your current circumstances and give you guidance on the courses that you might want to take as well, and that could lead to a pathway if you're looking for in specific pathway towards PR. So Ashani can assist you with that as well.
Yeah.
So that's mostly it from my side, Ashani. So in terms of diploma courses, some of the popular courses I'll talk about are Diploma of Childhood Education and Care, which is a very popular course, hospitality courses, commercial cookery, patisserie, automotive courses, engineering diploma courses available at TAFE, dental courses, Diploma of Nursing, Bachelor's of Nursing, construction courses, as Ashani said, are getting very popular nowadays.
That's right.
So
Yes.
doesn't matter what course you're looking for, we always have an option for you. Just remember, Queensland is the state that is opening 1st of January 2022, and we are here discussing to help you find a pathway for your student visa in Australia, in Queensland.
Yeah.
And if you got any questions, please feel free to ask. And we've got some questions coming up on the screen, but we will definitely reply back to those questions as we finish off this live. And if it is in regards to a university scholarship, there are massive scholarships available, up to 35% scholarships available for the full duration of your course. So don't miss on this opportunity. It's pretty much you paying only 65 cents to $1 as compared to what students were paying last year.
Yeah, and also, especially if you take Sri Lanka and other markets right now, about a year ago, if you compare the dollar rates as well,
Yes.
The rates were quite low compared to what it is now. So you were paying, if you were paying $10,000, you probably had to use about 15 lakhs. I'm talking about in Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
But as of right now, even if you're paying for the same course, same $10,000, then you will be paying 18, 19 lakhs. And this will change in the future as well. So I think this is the right time, or unless you're too late, right time to get into these courses. And I would also like to summarize what we said so far. So what we are saying is we have universities from QUT all the way to Torrens, from the top universities where the course fees are quite high, but the quality is there, and they're well-ranked universities, and also the affordable options for students who needs that as well. And studying in regional is a great idea for students because they can get extra points, and also they can get extra visa after studying. And the first step of studying is getting your offer letter, and we discussed the fees involved. You have to pay for the first semester, and then you have to get health insurance, and you have to apply for your visa. To qualify for this, we need to look at your education background, and also we need to look at your English and see if there are any study gaps, and we need to address those when we are applying for student visas. But Mickey and the team are the experts in handling that part, so that's not going to be an issue. We will deal case by case and advise you on the visa process. And the cost starts from about $5,000.
For a bachelor's or master's, $5,000 deposit, and for diploma, $1,000 deposit.
$1,000 deposit, and you can get the process started. And from 1st of January, you will be able to come to Australia, quarantining, and sometimes the accommodation is provided by the university up to a certain level.
Some universities.
Some universities,
So,
yes. So do take the advantage of that as well. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. And if you still have further questions, please put it in the comment box there, and we'll be more than happy to answer to your questions. Or call us on WhatsApp, number is there. Send us an email, a preferred mode, admin@sirus.com.au, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much for watching this show today, And thank you, Ashani, for joining me
You're
today.
welcome.